Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us there. Just a couple little technical buggerooskies that we're working out, but we are live now, and we are so glad that you're able to join us for a little special on this 3-day storm, kind of a two-part deal, too. It started yesterday, mainly some lighter snow. And, of course, today things have ramped up, especially across the Poconos. That's where we've seen some of our highest totals to this point. And now even here in the Wyoming Valley, things are really starting to crank up. In fact, you can see just a small listing of some of the snowfall totals there. Palmerton, over 19 inches of snow now, because we are quickly adding to these totals as some of the heaviest snow that we've seen all day has moved in. But I really want to quickly get out to our own Carolyn Blackburn joining us from Hazelton. I know that's where your story was from earlier, Carolyn. Is that where you still are?
Hey there, John. We are here in Hazelton, and it honestly looks more like a snow globe than I have ever seen before. The snow is coming down pretty quickly, and we've talked to a couple of people about how difficult it has been to try to dig out from this storm. I mean, the snow is pretty light and fluffy, but a lot of the people we spoke to say they literally have a strategy to get rid of the snow. They have been coming out every hour on the hour to try and get all the snow out of here, because it is just coming down so quickly. And if they don't come out every hour, it will not get done.
That's crazy. Now, so you're in Hazelton. How is the driving around been for you so far today?
Oh my goodness, it is so slippery. So right now we just saw there's some heavy people outside. Lots of snow trucks out and about. It is pretty slippery though. When we were out on Interstate 81, you couldn't even see the lines on the road. So I definitely recommend, if you do not have to be outside, please do not go outside, because it's just not worth it.
Yeah, good call there. And so what's the plan for you? So you're going to be live tonight telling us about, what the people are up to in Hazelton. But what's your plan? Are you going to get home tonight or what?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it home. I live in Kingston, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Maybe snowplow drivers are going to be able to make it clear enough for me to get home. But,
oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we spoke to a lot of people just plowing and trying to get out, and everybody's saying like it is an actual workout.
Yeah, even though it's light and fluffy, you get a lot of it. It can still be a lot of work. You guys are looking at probably like a foot of snow up there, obviously still snowing. So yeah, I'm sure you'll be quite busy. Carolyn, I know you're on deadline and you're trying to get your story written. So I appreciate you checking with us. Be safe, you and your photographer. Who are you with tonight? You with me, Gavin?
Thank you so much, John. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Take care. Well, all right. So Carolyn, live from Hazelton there, and you can kind of see behind her what's going on with some awfully heavy snow. And again, this is probably some of the heaviest that some of us have seen all day. I know our John Meyer was potentially going to be joining us, and there he is. So John, live from his house, able to join us, means that the kids weren't too rambunctious, so that's good.
Yeah, John, we're here in the back mountain of Luzerne County, where I had a treacherous drive home, I think we could say, from work. And a lot of our viewers were following me on Facebook on the trip home, but it was slow. It took me about an hour when it's normally 25 minutes, but I did make it home. I'm guessing here we have about inches in this part of the back mountain. I'm joined by my daughter, Olivia. They have been out here playing in the snow. And should we go show them some of the piles? Yeah, let's go over and show how big some of the piles are getting here as we shovel and work on clearing out the snow. Oh, just as she heads over there, I just want to show you like the drifting. I don't know if you can see, but like it's hanging over the roof up here, how it's drifting over the roof. I'm not the best photographer, but it's really, the wind has been howling. The snow is picking up a little bit here. We had a little bit of a lull about 15 minutes ago, but it's
may have lost you there, John. Are you still with us? All right, we may have lost John there, so we're gonna check back. John, if you're still on the line, we will be back with you just as soon as we can. And in fact, to our director that's running this, just take him if he pops back up. He probably just walked a little too far away from his Wi-Fi. Oh, it looks like he's back. John, you're back with us. You were talking about the snow drifts right when we lost you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I walked too far away from our Wi-Fi. But yeah, so when you see, I mean, we've got quite a bit of snow here. I'm guessing we have in the range of 10 inches. And John, it's tough to measure snow when it's drifting like this. So I've got the snow blower out over there. We're going to get started soon. I have some little helpers who have been shoveling and eating the snow. The other two got a little cold and they just went in. So we're going to be having fun here tonight in the snow, clearing the snow, and it looks like there's a lot more to come, John.
Yeah, I mean, we're only about halfway with it. Glad you made it home safe. And you said the roads were really, really pretty sloppy there and slippery. My wife was actually watching your live stream, and she said, "I'm so glad you don't have to drive on the highway tonight." So, glad you're able to make it back. Any roads in particular? You don't have to tell us like exactly where your house is, but were there any roads on the way that were particularly kind of rough?
Well, once I get off, 81 in the Cross Valley Expressway I was on, and of course they were slick, but I have to give the plow truck drivers credit. They did work in making it, even some spots it was just slushy. Once I got off on the back roads though, it deteriorated quickly. And, they just don't have the plow power to deal with all those back roads. So there were a couple spots that if I wasn't in a 4-wheel drive, I don't think I would have made it through. And that's, you have to have a 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive to get through some of these spots, especially the back areas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Wow. And so that's good information. Yeah, when you get these snowfall rates, 1, 2, 3 inches an hour, it gets bonkers. It's there's just no way for the road crews to be able to keep up with that. So you got some snow clearing to do, I see. But before I let you go, so so the kids, they're making big snow floats out there, or what?
They're in the process. That's what I was going to show you. One of the piles that they're going to make into their own snow fort. So there's lots of playing to come all week long, I think, here at this house.
Absolutely. Well, John, thanks for checking in. Glad you made it home safe. Go have some fun, and I guess you got to do a little work too out there, huh?
A little bit.
Awesome, John. Thank you so much for checking in. Appreciate that.
Sure.
So, as you just heard there from John Meyer, Cross Valley 81 South, at least from our station here in Music, slippery but passable, maybe a little slushy. Road crews have been able to so far, at least in this neck of the woods, been able to keep up with things. But that's certainly not the case everywhere. One of our people here that works on the desk, he lives down in the Palmerton area where we have a snowfall report there of upwards of 19 inches, and of course still snowing heavily. And he wasn't able to make it into work today. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast. Our southern areas got hit hardest first, and now more of us are getting in on some of this. So let's talk about some other snowfall reports. So these are, again, you'll see these, some of these maybe even a little bit old, even a couple of hours, and even a couple of hours now when we've got snowfall rates 1, 2, 3 inches an hour. I mean, this is going to go up quick in some cases. Okay. So Greeley, we're talking about over 14.5 inches of snow at the time of that report. Tamaqua and Honesdale at 14 inches, Bloomsburg at 12, and Lake Ariel at 11. And now this is storm total and not necessarily all just today. For us today here at WNEP, we're over 6 inches now. Add that to the 2.6 yesterday, and we are on 8.6 inches of snow so far. So where do we go from here? I'm sure some of you have questions, and I think we're going to get some of those questions popping up here. And we're just going to, get your comments in, and we'll try to run through them. Now, if you're asking exactly how much snow where you live, we're going to talk in this, weather forum here about what's to come forward. Okay, what you have now. And we're going to add on top of that. So that's kind of where we're heading with this thing. So let's show you what the radar looks like at this point. And some of the heaviest snow, again, that we've seen so far all day long is starting to move in, generally from the southwest off to the northeast. So you can kind of see some of that here. And in fact, if I zoom in a little bit, see some of these darker shadings here. This is coming through Oliphant. It's coming through Jessup. It's coming through Troop, Dixon City, coming into Scranton now. You've got Route 6 up here, 191 up there. So going out, let's say, the Hamlin Highway as a for instance. This is a very heavy band of snow. Okay, we're talking snowfall rates over an inch an hour. And when you get these kinds of situations, road crews, they're doing their best, but they might not necessarily be able to keep up. And you can see Brandon checking in here. Snow bands heavy in Luzerne, Wayne, Lackawanna counties overnight. Yes, so that's the question. And yes, we will. So it looks like where we're going from here, guys, is that the area of low pressure that's been responsible for the second part of the storm, okay? It was kind of a two-parter. We had the initial wave yesterday. Now the coastal low, you can see that on the screen here, is kind of what's taking over. And it's been really slow to move north. The long and the short of it here is that the atmosphere is really bottled up, so things aren't able to move particularly quickly. And as a result, this storm is kind of stuck, and some of the most intense snow that we're going to see for the entire duration of this event is coming through now. So it's it's kind of weebling and wobbling, probably more north than east or west at this point. So as it moves north, it's going to push us into these waves of snow. And that's why we're going to be seeing this intense snowfall, particularly over eastern Pennsylvania. Tanya, thanks for your question, checking in with how much or when is it going to stop snowing? And the answer is, it depends on your definition of stopping. So the steadiest and heaviest of the snow is going to be happening here tonight through about 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's when our impacts are going to be very high. All right, between now and 2 o'clock in the morning, if you're not a road crew member, if you're not trying to get to, let's say, a hospital, you're an essential worker, you're really just going to want to pack it in here for the night. It's getting dangerous when you're talking about these heavy snows. Now, again, this is especially in eastern Pennsylvania. Central Pennsylvania, it's actually, not too shabby at this point. I believe I have okay, this is Blue Mountain, so obviously down Carbon County, some heavy snow there. But let's check in now with what's happening in Williamsport. You can see that a lot of snow has already fallen there so far today, but judging by the camera view, it's not too intense. So out in central Pennsylvania, certainly impacts are coming down. Okay, so it's not quite as intense, but it's over eastern Pennsylvania, especially right now. Basically, for areas from the Wyoming Valley and mainly points east, some extension west up through, let's say, Red Rock and out to the back mountain. Still some pretty high impacts there, out through Tunkhannock too, in Wyoming County. But as you start going, east from there, impacts are going to be very high tonight. West from there, starting to taper again. The heavy snow is mostly confined to the east. So that brings us back to this map. Very high impacts expected for the next several hours here in eastern Pennsylvania, and only slowly dwindling because it's going to continue to snow. Heaviest is through now and 2 o'clock. Then it's going to start to slowly taper to kind of a steady snow. Still high impacts. Morning commute tomorrow, very high impacts there too. Well, high, not very high. We'll bring that back to high. Then we're going to slide that back to medium and eventually low, because the thinking here is that it's going to taper from a steady snow to snow showers. That question there that just popped up, I believe, lake effect, is that going to, does the Arctic temp change this? Yeah, absolutely, Kate. So the situation here is that the temperatures are, they're cold. I mean, in our backyard, it is 26 degrees, and the colder it is, generally the fluffier your snow is going to be. So I'm just trying to pop up our current temperatures. Here we go. 20 in Hanover Township, as a for instance there, but 18 in Mansfield, 27 Lewisburg. So, it's nuts, and 23 in Gouldsboro. So there's your fluff factor. Okay, up in the elevations, it's a lot colder right now, and that's going to contribute to some really fluffy snow. So that fluff factor, and if you think back to Allie's portion of our weather special, this is exactly what she was talking about, right? She was talking about that fluff factor increasing snow totals. So things are stacking up really quickly now because it's cold, and especially in the higher elevations, even colder there, and we're really starting to stack up the snow. So I know a lot of you are also asking, when's it going to stop? But, let's kind of get the evolution here of what we're going to expect over the next couple of hours. Patrick, thank you for checking in. Snowing hard in Lackawanna County. Yes, my friend, we're looking at snowfall rates now, 1 inch, maybe 2 inches an hour, as this heavy band has been slowly moving from south on off to the north. So here's your timeline, future clouds and radar, heaviest snow. Look at some of these darker shadings. And this is all the incredibly heavy snow that's coming in off of that, the coastal storm, right? It's out through Factoryville, Knoxon, Tunkhannock, Nicholson getting some pretty heavy snow, 9:30 tonight. This extends down through the Poconos too, where we've seen some incredibly heavy snow. Snowing like crazy in Tamaqua. Thank you very much, Mary, for checking in there. And we expect the snow to continue to be pretty heavy through about 2 o'clock in the morning or so. Then from there, I think things are going to slowly start to taper off. Check out what's happening as we advance the maps up to 4 o'clock in the morning. Still some snow around, but starting to get a little bit lighter. Frank, thank you. Frank Andrews, 9 inches here at Avoca. Yeah, so we're stacking it up quick. No doubt about that, even in valley sections of Lackawanna County. Going into morning commute time, notice still snowing pretty steadily, especially east of Route 15. West from there, maybe just a few flakes, but east, still some somewhat steady snow. That may continue up through about noontime tomorrow. And then from there, it starts to get a little bit more broken up, more snow shower-y, if I can use that as a word, meaning that's not going to be all that steady. And by this time tomorrow night, I think we're in pretty good shape in terms of any additional falling snow. Allie, thank you. Snowing like crazy in Honesdale. Absolutely. We're looking at 14 inches of snow there and counting. That report as of a couple hours ago. Another comment popped up there. yeah, 29 in Anacoke, 12 inches measured, quarter inch more since 8:30. So thank you, Anthony, for checking in with that. Yeah, you know, there's certainly some spots down through the valley, maybe getting a little bit of a lull, but we expect that to pick back up. And to that end, let's bring you right back to the live radar. And you'll see kind of this darker blue shading moving in here from, again, east to west. Looks like it's kind of north of Nanticoke. Nanticoke kind of in that a little bit of a lull now. But north from there, what you get is that, you know, heavier axis of snow and extends through Jessup, Oliphant, you know, basically up the line here, up 81. Troop getting in on this, Dixon City, then even down towards Springbrook, getting some pretty heavy snow down too. 502 is probably incredibly slippery, I would imagine as well. If any of you were commenting, some of your useful comments could include things about, well, what was your drive home like today? Of course, snowfall reports always appreciated, but you know, let's get the word out here. You know, if there's some, you know, incredibly dangerous roads right now, we'd love to be able to share that over the course of this live broadcast. Hey, this is what it's all about, right? You know, usually you're just watching your TV at home, and you know it's a one-way interaction. But this gives you the chance to give us some feedback. Kate asking, is this an unusual storm? You know, we get nor'easters. You know, not every year, but we're certainly no stranger to them. And this one, I wouldn't say particularly unusual. It is a very slow mover. And I can kind of bring that up on a big picture. And what I can actually do here is I'll widen this whole thing out a bit, and I'm going to put this on a longer loop for you. So let's just back up the bus here. Let's just go back 18 hours. You're looking at an 18-hour evolution. And what you'll notice is that some of the same spots that we're seeing heavy snow this morning are still finding some heavy snow now, but there's been this very slow progression to start to move this thing north. So just now are we getting into some of the heaviest snow here in the Wyoming Valley. But this is, you know, pre-dawn this morning up until, you know, your commute time to work. You can see it's been a steady snow much of the day for us here, basically north of Interstate 80. South of there, though, there's some of those heavier snow bands. I saw Whitehall, 25.5 inches in counting. And now that this low is ever so slowly starting to move a little bit farther north, some of those heavier snow bands are also coming farther north with it. And to that end, check out what's going on across Lake Wallenpaupack right now. Some awfully heavy snow out here through Pike County. Here's 84. Some very heavy snow, and of course some very heavy snow here throughout much of Lackawanna County, including Clark Summit up towards La Plume, getting some pretty heavy snow now. I'd imagine up by Lackawanna State Park, some pretty heavy snow. Update from Blaze, 180 in Williamsport, passable but not ideal. And, you know, that kind of confirms, too, what our John Meyer was talking about with, you know, his commute down across the Cross Valley Expressway and down 81. Kind of, you know, slushy, road crews are doing their best, so it's okay. But, you know, certainly, you know, it's not summer driving conditions out there. So I guess that's a safe way to put that. Let's talk about additional snow, of course, at any time. Get your comments in. Try to talk about those. You know, right now we're talking, you know, driving conditions. What was your commute like today if you were out at all? Any roads in particular that you think have been, you know, particularly rough? We'd love to pass that along. Kenneth is asking, how's it going to be at 1 o'clock tomorrow? We've got a map for you there, Kenneth. Let's go into the storm impact timing. So overnight, things are going to be at their roughest, especially across eastern Pennsylvania. I'd say any time after noon tomorrow, things should be, you know, very rapidly getting better. Okay, the steadiest snow should be tapering off. Our road crews are going to be out doing their darndest. My father-in-law is actually, you know, he's a borough foreman, and that poor guy was out last night, got a little nap in. He's going hard tonight. He's going to be out all night, I think. I don't know how much sleep he's going to get, and he's not the only one. It's all you hardworking people. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for all you do. I know you're working just as quickly as you can to get things cleaned up. Boy, I mean, we're talking, you know, much improved conditions afternoon tomorrow, assuming the steadiest snow kind of tapers off through the morning, becomes more snow showery in nature by the afternoon. And then, you know, certainly by this time we're great, but by 1, overall impacts certainly a lot lower there, Kenneth. I think especially in central Pennsylvania, in the east, of course, I think a lot of people are still digging out. So still probably some slightly higher impacts there. But overall, the general theme is things will be improving through the day tomorrow. Highest impacts early, lower impacts a little bit later on. Nick's saying knee deep here in Waymar. Appreciate your report. Thank you, Nick. And of course, as you're measuring, remember, it's starting to blow around a lot tonight too. Winds are going to ramp up. Gusts probably in the 30s miles per hour, especially across some of the higher hilltops. So it's going to get a little tough to get a great measurement. Of course, when you're taking your measurements, you don't have a snowboard, out away from your house. You're going to want to take an average measurement kind of throughout your yard. I mean, I know in my yard, when I left to come in here today, I still had bare spots. And then I also had spots that were basically over the top of my corgis. So, it's going to be a little bit variable. So just do the best you can to get, the most accurate measurement as you pass it in. And I'm sorry for this kind of weird screen. I'm just trying to pick up some gusts across the hilltops. So we're looking ahead here. This is tomorrow. Some of the gusts. Storms starting to pull away. So we're still talking gusts, though, into the 30s of miles per hour. And this really light, fluffy snow, it's going to blow around and it's going to drift around. Now, notice the direction here, kind of north to northwest. So any road that runs east-west, okay, that includes the highways, but more so kind of your back roads. Because, you're running east-west and the wind's blowing across it, those very light, fluffy snow. Look, the road crews are doing all they can here tonight, but even after it, say, slows or stops snowing, it's going to blow back across the road. So there's still going to be some, pretty variable driving conditions because of the light, fluffy nature of the snow, because it's still going to be blowing around tomorrow, and that may make a mess of things on some of the side roads especially. Thank you to Chris, 12 inches in Higgins. It's still snowing pretty good. Thanks for the check-in from the Skook. We appreciate you. We've certainly seen some high-end snowfall reports from there today. I had a check-in from Auburn, but this is hours ago, of 10 inches of snow. I want to go back to a couple of the snow reports quickly. And again, some of these are getting a little dated, so you probably have a little bit more snow. 12 to 18 plus inches, according to this map across some of these locations. How can I send in pictures to show the snow in the Bloomsburg area? Tina, I'm not so sure how to do that over the course of this live broadcast, but if you want to, send something into weather@WNEP.com, if you want to, send anything in directly to weather at WNEP Weather on Facebook, me directly on Facebook. You post it to our wall, send in a message. That would be the best way to show off your snow. I would recommend, if at all possible, if you do send in any pictures, try to send it to the WNEP Weather page on the wall section. What that does is our weather graphic system allows us to actually pull that in directly. And in fact, we can kind of do that over the course of this live broadcast, kind of assuming some of those posts are coming in. I'll wait for that to come in. Okay, so we've got something here from Josh. This isn't too old, so we'll pop this in here real quick. See what we can do about that. This is an old photo. I won't be able to update the top there particularly quickly, but this is from Josh, and he just says, great snowstorm for northeastern and central Pennsylvania. So 2021. How about that? So thanks, Josh, for sending in your photo. Just quickly kind of going through, see if I can find any other pictures here. I'm not really seeing anything popping. But again, if you head to WNEP Weather on Facebook and you post a picture directly to your wall, it makes it really easy for us to pull in your reports. Terry, 20 inches in effort. Thank you so much. Yeah, Pocono's certainly taking the brunt of this thing today. We expected that, and that is certainly living up to expectations. We're looking at a satellite image now, or satellite radar, technically. And what you got there is you can see some of the darker shadings, and the darkest shadings are some, really heavy snow. And again, as mentioned, throughout the valley right now, we're talking snowfall rates, over an inch an hour. It's getting harder for the road crews to keep up. They're doing their best, but you're going to have to use a lot of patience if you have to drive tonight. Up over the Pocono Plateau, Tobyhanna, Goldsboro, probably closing in on some really hefty snowfall amounts there, and then down towards Whitehaven, Hazleton, getting back into the snow. There's that little bit of a lull perhaps out through portions of the back mountain, but we do expect that to fill in. And again, we expect it to fill in because when we widen it out a little bit, you can see some of that heaviest snow moving in from east back to the west. And in fact, in that last couple of frames, especially over Pike County up towards Shahola, Ski Big Bear, Lackawaxen, you're seeing some awfully heavy snow too, and that continues to move generally from east to west here. We're coming up. It's 8:37. It is Monday, day 2 of our storm, and doing a little live broadcast here. We really appreciate all of you checking in, sending us your comments, and hey, just checking this whole thing out. It's a little different than our standard, kind of Facebook Lives that I do myself. I've actually got a lot of help right now from our director, Dan. He's got this all set up and working out. Our web guy, Sean, also helping us out too. So a lot of appreciation for you guys getting this thing going tonight. Really cool, very interactive. Snowing heavy in Plains now. Thanks, Gary. Thank you for checking in with that report. Yeah, getting back into some of that heavy snow even down here in the valley. Check in from Lycoming County, David, about a foot in Hughesville. So yeah, some of the heavy snow making its way out there. Actually, 10.9 inches was reported in Williamsport, but this is a few hours old, and that makes it the daily record snowfall for the day. Not necessarily for the month, but a daily snowfall record set in the airport for Williamsport. 17 inches coming down in Daleville. Yeah, Ronald, I bet. And I think it's going to probably get worse or stay just as bad as it is, really, to be honest with you, before I think it gets any better. I mean, just look at the satellite and radar, please. Nick, you're so welcome. And again, any reports that you might have, certainly appreciate that. You know, if you've got a road report, maybe you were out driving today, even if you're going down, get yourself a couple of brewskis. All right, it's a big snowstorm. I know how this works. Okay, it's not all about the French toast and the non-perishables. You're going out there and you're trying to have a couple of pops. I don't blame you, not one bit. So if that's what you're out doing today, good for you. Okay, and just tell us how the drive was. And if you got something good, there's some of our local brewers around here. I don't want to name any by name, probably get in trouble for that. But, they've got some, shall we say, themed things to winter and blizzards and snowstorms. So probably an appropriate beverage. And I'd be joining you tonight, but, here I am with my tea because I'm doing my nightly duties here, WNEP. Tony, 16 and a half in West Hazelton over the past couple of days. Thank you so much for checking in with that report. Yeah, keep it simple. Life is good. It's a gift from my wife. Not only the mug, which has a corgi on it, but the stickers too. There's the corg there. I love this mug. It's great. Great for some sipping tea in these live broadcasts. So that's a look at the satellite and the radar picture. We can bounce you out, show you a couple of live cameras. Of course, up at Blue Mountain, things are rocking and rolling there. Not too many people out tonight. I'm not sure what their hours are, but the skiers that are out there have had themselves a massive pow day. Gosh, I am so jealous of you guys. I'm going to actually pop up another camera here. This is Williamsport, but I'm going to show you what's happening. The tracks going through the snow. No one's out, probably for the best, as conditions are certainly pretty sloppy in downtown Scranton as we speak. Getting a check-in here, actually not from the Facebook Live or this live stream that we're using, but from Carolyn. She's asking, when's the snow going to stop here in Lusco? I don't know if she's still listening, but it's going to go for a while, Carolyn. Okay, the heavy snow continues hard here right through about 2 o'clock in the morning before we start to find things tapering off at all. So we've got a ways to go. We're seeing some, indications, some people checking in saying, hey, it seems like not a bust, but like, where's the snow? It's just a long duration event. And only just now that the storm has shifted farther north, are we starting to get into some of the really more intense snow. It's been, it's been kind of cute and fun. And for some, of course, look, lower Poconos, I get it. It's been dumping a lot of the day, but here in the north, up until like 3 o'clock today, my backyard, I think I had like 4 or 5 inches of snow, and that's including what had fallen last night until about 2, 3 this afternoon. It wasn't too bad, but now, now we're ramping it up. Now things are getting a little bit more serious here, and we're certainly seeing evidence of that out through the Poconos. And again, that's extending now into the Wyoming Valley. I'm sorry for kind of the rough nature of this stream. Hopefully that will all kind of clean itself up here in time. Not sure what's causing that, but we can sometimes it's the technical buggers, but it's okay. We're all good. So let's talk about how much snow to go, shall we? I think this map might actually show up okay. So here's how much more snow from what you already have. So this is including what's already fallen. All right, so between now and let's say this time, or not this time, check that, Tuesday morning, about 6 o'clock, okay, we're going to add some pretty high-end snowfall totals here. Now, I think it's going to be maybe a little bit higher than what this particular model shows. Okay, it's only talking about maybe an additional 5 in Scranton. I think it'll be more than that. And especially, again, out through the Poconos. I think this is an area to watch tonight between now and when you wake up tomorrow morning. I think there's going to be some spots in here that are going to be looking at an additional foot of snow. Again, not everybody, but there's going to be some spots, an additional foot of snow by the time you wake up tomorrow morning early on. Let's jump you up into what's happening by, this time tomorrow night. And, you can see a little bit more. So I think the long and the short of it here is this. The most intense snow, especially in eastern Pennsylvania, is falling between about now and 2 o'clock in the morning or so. Still snowing when you wake up, but it's going to start to taper, starts to become more snow showery in nature through the day. So we're going to add the most additional snow between now and about 2 a.m. We'll add some additional snow thereafter, but it's not going to be coming down as quick. We're not going to be stacking it up nearly as fast. But again, additional snow, some of you are looking at an additional foot between now and this time tomorrow. Some of you are looking at an additional 6 inches. Central Pennsylvania probably stacking on less, okay? Mill Hall, Lock Haven, Renova, through Buttonwood. You're talking an additional couple of inches of snow. But certainly here in the east, this is pretty intense. What we're going through now, and it looks like it's going to stay pretty heavy here for several more hours to go. If you're just logging in, I'm sorry. I wish you had caught us a little bit earlier. We had John Meyer live from his house. Carolyn's live on location. She's out in Hazleton tonight, where she is going to report on how people are dealing with the snow there. And it looks like people are doing their best, going out, digging out several times. Just trying to keep ahead of things here. So we're going to find her reports live tonight, WNEP 2 at 10, WNEP at 11 o'clock. There's going to be some special fun tonight at 11 too. I don't want to give everything away. All I'm saying is I think there's going to be someone joining me out in the backyard. Socially distant, okay? We're going to be far apart, but we might have someone joining me in the backyard tonight. And I think that's going to be a good time. I think we're going to wrap this up soon. We started at a little delayed, so I want to let this run just a couple more minutes in case you haven't had a chance to get your questions in or any info that you want to relay. Let's talk again. Any roads in particular that you think are kind of rough? Maybe you were out just trying to get around today. Any spots that you think people might want to avoid, or how much snow you have where you live, or any kind of last minute questions here? We'd be happy to get to any of those. You're looking at the storm impact map. This is a newer map that I've whipped together and used the past couple of storms. I think it does a good job of just kind of breaking down with color codes, when to expect the worst of the conditions. Tracy, thank you for your report. 15 inches in Turbitville. Thank you so much. Yeah, certainly some spots going to be adding the snow quick as well. So again, highest impacts. We're going to wrap this up with a little bow here in the next 5 minutes. So get your questions in, get your comments in as quickly as you can. We'll get to them as quickly as we can here too. So let's wrap it in a bow. Heaviest snow between now and about 2 o'clock in the morning. This is when you really, if you don't have to be out, don't be out. Morning commute tomorrow, still high impact, especially over eastern Pennsylvania. Yes, the snow should be lightening up, but it's still snowing. Okay, and you get a lot of digging out to do. 8 a.m. and noon tomorrow, still medium impact. Crews are starting to finally catch up after this long night ahead that they've got. And then low impacts expected for tomorrow afternoon. Look, low doesn't mean none. Low just means it's going to be a lot easier getting around compared to what you've been doing, today. Quick look at temperatures for tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty seasonal day. We're looking at highs tomorrow, low, maybe mid-30s in central Pennsylvania. We've got that steady snow in the morning. That's going to be tapering off to snow showers by later on in the day. So some real heavy snow here tonight, steady snow early tomorrow morning, tapers off through the day to snow showers, and temperatures eventually dropping off too. We'll be down to the mid-20s by 10 o'clock tomorrow night, and overnight lows tomorrow looking like they'll be in the low 20s too. What model are we following, Tricia? We look at all the models. I don't like that notion of use this model, use that model. Okay, it's a compilation. You look at everything, and through a lot of experience and knowing the different tendencies and trends of the various models, that's how you're kind of coming up with a forecast. So it's not just one. We're looking at a lot of them. This particular, we do have some models that produce some maps for us for quick and easy reference. And in this particular case, it's actually something called ICAST. It's proprietary. It's something that we pay for to have access, and it's able to produce quick maps like this. We put in the text, but some of the icons, the temperatures, and the trend lines and stuff are actually plotted for us, which makes life good. Again, quick, easy, dirty reference. Again, any last minute questions, comments? Let's get them in. We're looking at the most intense snow between now and 2, and here's how much more snow you can expect between now and when you wake up tomorrow morning. As mentioned, I think this particular model probably underdoing it a bit, especially out over the Pocono Plateau area here, Hazleton Plateau perhaps too. I think we're going to find some pretty heavy snow, especially in this area where, maybe not in the valley, just outside the valley though, Mount Cobb, Springbrook, you're probably perhaps looking at 10, 11, 12 inches of additional snow on top of what we already have. Most, though, in eastern Pennsylvania, a general 5 to 10 inches more. Central Pennsylvania, a general 3 to 5 inches more between now and tomorrow morning, and then some minor accumulation perhaps after that. Mary, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your viewership here tonight, doing this little live deal. 18 inches in Tafton I just saw, so thank you for that report from Pike County. Certainly appreciate those. And I know a lot of you from Pike County are watching, have seen some reports. Shahola, last check, was 12.5 inches of snow. Do I have any others from Pike? I don't believe I do. No additional ones from Pike on my particular little handy dandy. Oh, Greeley, check that, Greeley, 14.7. So again, and that might be a little old now because it's still dumping out there. So coming up on 8:50, you will welcome Stephen. We appreciate all of you tuning in for this live. Sorry about the buggers at the beginning, but we've got those figured out. You're looking at a quick look at how much more additional snow to expect, and quick look again, see how this kind of looks. A little fuzzy there, so I think we're just going to we'll just bring that back and just show you. And ended on this little map here that's got some of the snowfall reports. Again, some of these are a little on the older side. So 8:50, got to let our big man Dan, Director Dan, hats off for getting this figured out. You and Sean, you guys got these buggers at the beginning. They were rough, but we got it figured out. You got on here. You got to ask your questions. This has been great, but I think we all got to maybe grab a little bite to eat, a little something to wet our whistle with, a little water. Talking for a long time. So love you guys. Thank you so much for checking us out. We'll hopefully be doing more of these as big storms are rolling through. And to that end, we're watching Super Bowl Sunday. Big Arctic blast, maybe preceded by some additional snow. We'll try to get to a little bit of that tonight on WNEP 10 and 11. Be safe, everybody, and cheers. We'll catch you a little bit later on tonight.